Hi guys, I want to talk to you about Vladimir Tepes, world well-known Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula, Vladimir Dracula, and Dracula. So before we get really into detail about him and everything of which I've been acquainted with and what's in my ancestors and my connections to him, a lot of what's known about Vladimir is actually very much more, his life has been really turned into this Hollywood dramatic idea. If you know much about him and his real life, he was actually a prince of Romania, okay? So he was born into a royal lineage, particularly a dragon lineage. And when I say a dragon lineage, it is an order that goes on generation to generation, that involves, you know, a court, a royal court, through bloodline. And if you're aware of how this stuff works, the royal dragon, the court of the royal dragon is they're all related, okay, but they are scattered all over the globe, okay? So that doesn't necessarily mean their ancestors is Romanian, their ancestors is just Armenian. Do you get what I'm trying to say? They're all related, but they're like, I live in Canada. Do you get what I mean? My ancestry is so on and so forth, is Anatolian, is Armenian, but if I have a royal court in Canada, for example, do you get what I'm trying to say? Depending on your culture and depending on how things are brought up in that country, if you're associated as that, if you're born into that country, you are now a Canadian. But anyways, so he was a prince, and at the time there was a lot of that Turkic invasion, the Ottoman Turkic invasion, that which was a continuous saga of stealing heritage, women, children, kidnapping, taking away women and children that come from a very good background, come from a very good family, and they were kidnapped and taken in as hostage, as slavery, as wives, and to create new cultures such as the Ottoman Empire, okay? If you do any form of research about the Turkic culture, the ancient Turkic cultures were Mongolian and were Asian. And slowly but surely they turned into a whiter culture, a mixed culture first, and then a whiter culture, okay, such as Caucasian, European, Middle Eastern, with so many kidnappings and so on and so forth, of all these different areas of women and children, okay? So, you know, the world's related. So, Turkey now is not the ancient Turkic people. However, anyways, going back. So, you know, there was a very big invasion of that region, of that, you know, the Balkanic areas of Europe in general, but the Balkanic areas of Europe were being invaded very harshly. And so Vladimir believed in protecting his own family and his own royal blood and his own royal lineage. Now, if you know anything about certain, well, most of them, if not all of them, they don't believe in mixing. In the ancient days, in the ancient ways, was they marry their own court. They marry their own culture, not culture, but their own bloodline, to keep the royalty in the blood, to continue. So, anyways, he believed that the Turks were so barbaric, you know, they were all about befriending a person and then betraying them, you know, taking their ideas, taking their culture, their heritage, their children, their family, their riches, doing magic to take it, and so you know, drinking their blood, eating their flesh. But you have to also be aware of, in the castles, in the royal castles, and in the ancient days, it was actually pretty well known, and it was not everybody, but a lot of them, they would eat human flesh, okay? That's just, they believed in order to overcome the enemy, they would eat the enemy in order to take its abilities, to take their abilities and to take their brains and intelligence and heart and so on and so forth, okay? You are what you eat. You become what you eat. And that is why I'm a vegan. But anyways, so, you know, there's people out there that are like, oh, you know, I'm a master in the dark arts. I've eaten human flesh. I've drunk blood. But you have to also be aware of, nowadays, people are eating things they don't even know where it comes from. Most of the foods we eat are all chemicals. There's drugs in them. You know, there's proof of documents that McDonald's meat, there has been and there is human flesh in McDonald's hamburgers. So you don't know what you're eating, okay? My friend, she was at a supermarket. She bought steak like last year, and there was human teeth in the steak. When she took it home, okay, there was a lawsuit. They found human flesh. So and this is a regular supermarket. So guys, you know what I mean? Anyways, so it was all, I feel, you know, these things when it comes to cultures, a lot of it is for survival instinct, okay? Some of it is beyond, they do it out of jealousy and greed and possession and things like that, but a lot of it is for survival. So that's what I feel Vladimir became the way he did with the dark arts, by drinking the Turkic blood, and going on that rampage of returning what they were doing. Now, there was a genocide to the Europeans. There was a genocide to the Balkanic regions and a lot of the other Europeans as well. A lot of the history has not been told, okay? There has been loads and loads of genocides, okay? And so he believed in order to overcome this genocide, he became more psychotic. He was doing what the Turkic people were doing to the children and the women. So he was doing it back to these soldiers and these people that were trying to invade his land. He was a prince. A prince would protect the land. A king and a prince in the royal lineage and the royal blood would protect the land and the area, right? So, you know, I know for the weekly, for May 29 to June 4, I did a cartomancy reading, and a lot of it I was picking up that people who are watching me on my channel are coming to the awareness that they're shamans in their ancestry. As you know, I'm a shaman, and I don't go looking to look into situations to read people's cultures or my own. The way it works is I'm a medium as well, and these entities and these spirits, they come to me and they make themselves well known to me, and then it's after, when I find documents about them, when I do research, that the information that I'm being given from these spirits are actually a confirmation that this is what's happened during this time, this area, connected to this, and this. And if you do research on Vladimir, you'll find that he was in an Ottoman prison, just as my ancestors were, because my ancestors come from the Anatolian regions. We are Anatolian. And the Ottoman, the Turkic, they came and they invaded Armenia, Anatolia before anything. The Mongolian, Turkic, there was a tribe, they settled in the Anatolian regions first. So they kidnapped the Armenian women and the children first, okay? And then they started invading other areas of the Middle East and Europe. So, because I've been acquainted with Vladimir's energy. I'm not gonna lie. He's showed himself to me many, many times since I was a really young girl. In 2009 or 2010, I wrote a few pages long article of my experiences and actual documents that I found doing thorough research, and how it's confirmed on my old Facebook profile page. When I had my Facebook profile page in 2009, 2010, I used to have a lot of blogs, articles, and a lot of the people that were on my profile, they remember me writing as My Life is Written in the Stars by Talar Lori, and some other things, and that was connected to my dad and my ancestors and stuff. But I've had like books, and I showed, you know, I talk about these books in the blog and stuff, and I was connected to other people who've done thorough research on him, and they all said that if you know, don't buy into the Hollywood movies about him, how he was this and he was that. What he was doing, he was protecting his family, he was protecting his homeland, okay? Sometimes in order to overcome an adversary or something that's being taken away from your home family is to outdo them by taking certain similar steps and then changing something a little different, okay? It doesn't mean you're going to do 200% the same. Nothing is 200% the same. People make mistakes, people succeed, people have their own ways, you know what I mean? So, as you know about my culture, you know, the Armenian castles, the Armenian culture, the Armenian royal lineages, they were destroyed, permanently destroyed. And at that time, there were still, you know, our ancestors and our cultures were still existing, or sorry, our royal lineage was still existing in other countries and so on, okay? But there was betrayal. There was betrayal. And the betrayal was in the family, okay? So not only am I literally an ancestor of Vladimir Dracula, which this is not a lie or a joke. There is physical evidences, and it's in my family. Like, some of my uncles have these physical evidences. We even have a paper, okay, document of the land that we owned, what belonged to what, okay, like acres of land, and that royal land, everything is in this paper, and this paper was from like the 1800s, okay, and it's not written in Armenian, like it's written in like the old like Ottoman lettering, like that, you know, the because the Turkish letters is not somewhat like Roman, right? Roman lettering. So, or Latin, sorry, I'm saying Roman. They used to write in Arabic, if I'm not mistaken. The Turkish language was written in Arabic. Because when the Turkic-Mongolian invasion came, they absorbed the Mongolian Turkic culture, and the Armenian Anatolia regions absorbed a lot of the Muslim culture and the Arabic, okay? Remember, there's a lot of jinn entities in the Muslim religion, okay? So there's like Arabic, and then there's like Latin writings. But anyways, Vladimir Dracula, as well as, you know, I've talked about my great-grandfather Khrzo the Fedayi, who was a very well-known hero, and he was a hero to the other Armenian Fedayis that were heroes, like Antranik, oh my god, if I keep going, too many. There's too many. If you look up Armenian Fedayis, you'll see lists of all these men. I even have books. I've showed the books through videos. I'm not going to go down, you know, and get the books right now, but they're all my bloodline. I come from them, okay? They're all cousins. They're all family, okay? Why all of them there is written down documents of, and not my great-grandfather's, because he never died. A lot of these heroes, they die, you know, and then it's documented. But my great-grandfather never died. He escaped the Ottoman prison. They tried to kill his name off, but when he finally escaped, they were in the same prisons. And they were acquainted there, and he finally, my great-grandfather finally escaped the last time, and he went underwater into the sea in order to escape. He did it all by himself. He's tricked the Ottoman soldiers. And Abdul Baha was questioned by the authorities on what he knows about my great-grandfather, and he kept his mouth shut. He stayed as an integrity, as a brother. He kept his mouth shut. But anyways, my great-grandfather escaped. He got himself a Kurdish hat, you know, showed himself as a Muslim. He had fake passports. He escaped. He took a horse. He got out. He had groups of Armenians follow him who were walking to the desert, being forced to walk to the desert of Syria. He moved to Syria. Please watch my DNA double helix videos for more information. And he met my great-grandmother then. They got married. They went to Syria, and they started building homes. Now, a lot of these children and these people who were also able to leave, they were burnt. These children were burnt by these Ottoman soldiers, okay? They were raped. They were burnt. They were with weapons, with leather weapons and like you know, harmful, sharp weapons. They were hit. So they had scars and marks all over their bodies. What did they do when they went straight to Syria? They were building communities. They were building homes. And these soldiers and the governments of the Ottoman Empire were, I don't understand how these people can still survive. And that is why we are called the Armenians. Great survival instincts. But anyways, that's another story. So I always felt, being acquainted with Vlad Dracula, his energy and his mind frame of intelligence, spiritual intelligence, it's in the aura, it's in the energetic field, okay? As well as, because intelligence does not die in the energetic fields. As well as my great-grandfather being acquainted, because he never leaves my side, eh? My great-grandfather will never leave my side. Till the day I die, he will not, because he is assigned as one of my guardians and my guides to move forward with my purpose and my destiny and to speak up about this. And I'm being told on a regular basis that I should be speaking about this, but I try to balance it because it may be overwhelming to a lot of people that I come from a lineage of escaping, of this rich background. I come from a lineage of royal bloodlines. I come from a lineage of our, you know, bloodline, our people, our story, our culture, our riches, our castles destroyed, our countries destroyed, our bloodlines destroyed. But yet we, as survivors, you know, I've been born into this in order to speak about it, in order to do something about it when other people in my family tried and failed. So I took their footsteps just as Vladimir Dracula did, learned from their mistakes and doing what it is that I feel is my style in order to overcome and to do, okay? So I'm not drinking, you know, anyways. I'm a vegan, but you get what I mean. I always felt that being acquainted by both their spirits feels as though to me that they're actually one spirit. It's as if my great-grandfather Khrzo was actually an incarnation of Vladimir. I've always felt that. I've even shared that because their greatness of, you know, and as you know, my ancestors and him and in his family, they were all from Sasoun. Okay? It is well known as the Batman City right now. It wasn't considered the Batman City back then, but Sasoun, it was, you know, Sasoun Armenia at the time, but it's Sasoun in Turkey, and this is where most of the Armenian heroes who would fight off lions and befriend lions, and very strong men, heroic strong men, a lot of poetry, a lot of culture. 99.9% of the Armenian culture now is of this region, the poetry, the music, everything. And that is where my ancestors come from. That is where he came from. And if you do research on Vladimir Dracula, he's associated as a bat from a cave, you know, because there's Sasoun, Armenia is a very, even Armenia of today, but Sasoun is a very mountainous area, okay? Mountainous region. with mountain goats and mountain rams and ibexes, and it's a beautiful, beautiful. Mountains are beautiful. And it's been said that, you know, there's kingdoms on mountains on an energetic realm too, on a spiritual realm. And these areas are still very protected. From the Kurds to the Turks to till now, they still say there's areas that they try to build a civilization and it's not working because they know, the people in the villages, they know what's been done to our culture and to the people and to the royal lineages. And they believe it's condemned from being able to procreate in terms of a new civilization. So I feel as though, I've always felt as though they are the same spirit and they are this one person incarnated. And, I mean, I was hoping I could get this video out yesterday and talk about this yesterday, but, you know, I had to go. I had a lot of work to do and a lot of places to be, and I'd like to get more in detailed about this and perhaps one day show you guys actual real documents that... Sorry, that's an incoming call. I'm not gonna... I'm just looking. Yeah, because I'm recording this is rude if I answer it. But maybe one day, you know, I can show you guys, if I get the chance, these documents. But this is a true fact, okay? This is the story of my life, that I do come from this ancestral lineage. As you know, the Armenian riches and the real true Armenian royalty has been diminished, destroyed, almost even extinct, and me and my lineage is probably the only survivors and well known of this bloodline and my ancestors, okay, of the Armenian lineage, of the Armenian royalty, are probably the only ones who are still survived. Okay, the other ones, I know I have cousins who are Bulgarian and Romanian because we found, you know, we found the survivors who were taken in as hostage and turned into another culture, so on. But I'm sure there's way, way more, because my great-grandfather Khrzo, he had to marry 6 times because every time he came home, his wife was kidnapped and his children were kidnapped, and who knows where they are today. Their kids and their kids and their kids, but they're still my bloodline, right? Anyways, I know I was talking about Vladimir Dracula, and this probably should be more of a detailed story about him and his life. But I think I'm gonna leave this video as an open discussion, and that whoever is interested in learning more about the real story about Vladimir, please do your research. If you ever feel a calling to go to Romania and to visit his castle in the regions of the Balkanic, maybe I'd come with you. In 2014, I was packed up, had my luggage ready. I was leaving to go to Europe. I was going to go live in Prague for 2 years, Czech Republic, and then take my way to Transylvania. And then I was stopped. So I believe in divine timing, and when I do go, I'm going to record everything. I'm not sure when it will be. Could be in 5 years, could be in 10 years, could be tomorrow. But I will be recording it and uploading it to my channel. So again, this is going to be an open discussion, and whoever is interested in learning, not even just about Vladimir, but thorough research about Sasoun, my Fedayi ancestors, to my royal lineage of Armenia, please do the work and do the research yourself. As well as, you know, David of Sasoun. He is my ancestor, okay? You have to know that in those villages, they're all related. They're all cousins. And who is David of Sasoun today? So you have to understand there was a betrayal, not just from these kingdoms, but there was a betrayal inside the family for riches, for everything. And so that one person may have power, okay? Even in kingdoms, it was like this, okay, from the beginning. So since the beginning of time, man has betrayed his own mother, his own brother, and his own child. And that is why there is this huge karma all around the globe. And one culture benefits, and then it fails, and then a new culture and a new civilization comes forth by a stolen sister or a daughter, and it just continues, okay? So I hope you guys liked this video or this form of series. And like I said, it's going to be attached to my DNA double helix series because it still is about my ancestors and my ancient royal lineage of the dragon, the royal court of the royal dragon, which stemmed way before the Roman Empire even existed, because the Roman Empire is a copyright stolen from the Scarlet Woman to the Red to the everything is copyright stolen of the Armenian culture and the Armenian tribal royal ancient dragon court. Okay, so kisses to you guys. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned because I have more to bring forth to my channel, guys. More creative art and more readings and more lots and lots of love. Okay, bye.